Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this Etheria restart video. So I hate to be the Zwei spot, but I kind of want to bring this video across because right now we are still in the phase of progressing, farming, and then reaching the end game. And Holden and Hoyan, they are amazing units, and we're going to do our review about them. But I like to put this important PSA or public service announcement through so that for those of you guys who are slightly more free to play, lower on resources, or you just don't spend as much, right, to get like hundreds or thousands of pulls in, this will be something that concerns you a lot. Okay, so first of all, Hoyan and Holden, they are meant to be core units. They are meant to be carries for the team. So you need to spend a lot of materials to upgrade their ability. So you take a look at their skill set itself and you're like, oh yeah, Hoyan has an amazing kit. She's gonna be an OP damage dealer. She's gonna carry my Doki Doki runs on auto, etc, etc. Right? But that is on the basis that you're able to farm up all the resources to upgrade the skills of the units. Right, to upgrade the prowess of the units potentially for even more stats, as well as prepare the modules. So modules as well as shells, they are transferable. So let's say if you have a really amazing set that you have on another carry unit, all you gotta do is transfer that set into your Hoyan or your Holden. If they are interchangeable, then this is where you will have this flexibility of your resources, right? But let's say, for example, if you take Holden as like the carry that you want to go for, this unit is a defensive based unit. So right now, if let's say your current hero pool is very attack based, you might not have the best gear prepared for him, and you might not have the resources to farm up the defensive gear to max out his potential. So yes, you can definitely pull for one copy of him, but do expect that if you don't have the resource to upgrade the stats or the skills in general, these units, especially I'll say Hoyan, won't be as good as they should be, because they are very min-maxy, especially this unit, because like she's the type that wants to do as much damage with the ultimate, get killed, come back, use the ultimate again, and then get all those good buffs and then just spam the ultimate from there. So that's how Hoyan works in terms of like what her kit does. Very, very snipey, very, very assassin based, but those type of different like roles or like assassins, heavy carries in general, they are the most resource heavy, especially in the current phase in game. We are not in a phase where we are farming auto comfortably. If you are a whale, if you have a lot of resources, you have your auto friendly teams for your health war already, yeah, by all means go and commit to them, because I think they are going to be really good units moving forward. I'll say Holden is probably more versatile, because Holden is not just a damage dealer, but also a debuffer with the ability to reduce attack and effect resistance, which means that you can combo him with other units to get your cycles of all the different debuffs onto the enemy and then reduce their output so that your team can survive better, especially for Terramaton. So I'll say Holden is more versatile. Like right now, if you are new to the game, your account is not very complete. Personally, between Hoyan and Holden, I think Holden will be better because of the versatility. Right? If you don't use him as a DPS, you can still use him as a debuffer for all this different stuff over here. And this turn meter minus, still going to be really good. You can push the boss turn meter back. You can push the core units turn meter back in PvP. And you will have this utility purpose for this unit over here. Although, if you want to build him up, he's defensive base. So, unless you are building Rahul up in your account, or unless you have some amazing defensive gears ready, his carrying potential might not be the best yet. Another factor for the free-to-play and low spenders to consider when you go for either of this banner is the SR units that you're able to get on the raid up from this banner right here. So for this is the Holden banner, we have Chucky the Echo, Viper, Kazami Kazuyo. I think all three will have some use in the game, right, from a free-to-play player's perspective. And getting dupes of them, I'm not too sure about Kazami, because I don't use her a lot. For Viper, getting dupes is good because this unit can transition to be a decently good RTA unit later. Chucky itself, I think getting dupes for her is also okay. Like these are the things you have to consider for these units, because going for this banner, I think you have a higher chance of getting all these duplicate copies of SR units than Hoyan and Holden themselves, right? So looking at all this, getting dupes of Chucky, is it worth it? I think for Chucky's case, maybe not so much, because Chucky's kit is not that stats reliant. For Viper, yes, because this is a PvP-centric unit, so stats is important. Effect accuracy is good to get the debuffs, and then crit rate is good for the additional damage, and all this good stuff is obviously going to be good for PvP, because all these are stats. But if we were to take a look at Hoyan's SR unit banner, I think it's a lot more interesting because all 3 units, personally grey, very good stuff, like generally very good carry, and all this additional boost is good both for PvE as well as PvP. So very high value SR unit right here. And then if we go into Rin the Unbolt right here, right, this is definitely a PvP centric unit. So getting dupes for this unit, I think is also fine. And then last but not least, if we go into Chiaki, the base version Chiaki, this is a healer that scales off the stats over here. So scales off the max HP. So for her, getting additional dupes gives you more healing, good stuff for a healer. Effect resistance, good stuff to be defensive, and then more stats which will increase the overall healing. So for this 2 banner itself, I think for the SR unit roster, Hoyan's banner is slightly more advantageous because these units, they just get more out of having duplicate copies. In case you are not so lucky, you do get duplicate copies of all these SR units right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the important PSA as well as notices for the free-to-play players as well as the low spenders, because these are factors which I think it is important to note at this point of the game, because resources can be a little bit scarce, right? You need to manage your resource carefully so that you don't break your account, you don't feel very frustrated when you play the game. And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like, subscribe to see more. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.